Now, all brides want that perfect wedding where everything goes according to plan. And in this age of digital transformation, one company has created an app that connects brides to vendors all over the world. I sat with Bridestory COO and founder Emile Etienne, who talked about this digital marketplace.
But when it comes down to finding the specific vendor within your own city, it's a bit harder. Furthermore, we try to go deeper. So instead of only finding inspirational content, you can read reviews about this vendor. You can see other weddings that were done. We also created the tagging feature. So when you see a beautiful wedding that happened somewhere by this vendor, you can also see who's the other vendors, like the other Filipino vendor that participated in it, and you can get more inspiration. You can contact them through our platform as well.
What's your long-term monetization strategy?
We have different strategies. The most dominant one is we have a premium listing. So we work with vendors. First and foremost, when a vendor joins Bridestory, in large part it's up to the vendor to determine how successful they will be on Bridestory, because we're very much like a social media platform in which if you do not upload a lot of content, people will not be following you. But then if you want to take it one step further, you can also buy, for example, our gold package, which pushes you up higher up the search results, kind of like Google. And the higher up you are, the more business inquiries you can get.
That's right, because you guys have secured funding from some high-profile names, including, of course, Rocket Internet and Singapore's East Ventures.
Yes.
What's next?
I think we're very much focused on becoming more of an app company. We see that these days people are using apps, especially brides and grooms. You know, whenever they're at work, they're browsing for inspiration. So for that reason, we created our user app. The same thing applies to wedding vendors. You know, there's no company around here or in the world that has really focused very much on apps. And we felt it's important when many of these wedding vendors are either part-time or full-time, but they don't have time to really be behind a laptop. So we created an app for them so they can manage their business on the go. They can reply to leads very quickly. And then the going forward for next 2016 is to go very deep in the Philippines, because we see that the Philippines is a very attractive market. There are a lot of prominent vendors, and we see that, you know, places like Cebu and Boracay are very much like a destination wedding.
So in that sense, do you see a certain trend in the wedding industry here in the Philippines?
I think it will continue to grow. What we hear from a lot of Philippine vendors who are already using our platform is that they get a lot of business inquiries currently from Filipinos in the US who would like to come back to do their wedding here. So I think that kind of serves the purpose that we're looking for, because we are very much a cross-border platform. So we want to grow the tourism. We want to grow the wedding destination in places like Boracay, Cebu. And
in that sense, what sort of growth targets do you envision for a country like the Philippines? Sure.
For us, it's very important that we provide real value to the wedding vendors as well as the brides and grooms. If we can do that, we want to be the #1 wedding app, or the wedding destination source for people looking for inspiration within the first year whenever we enter into a new country. So we're quite confident that we can achieve that in the Philippines.
Any hard targets around that? By way of customer base, by way of revenues, by way of the number of suppliers that you list?
Multiple, I would say. So we have, by now we have millions of inspirations, so millions of filtered content of wedding vendors in Indonesia. We want to have that very quickly as well in Indonesia, in the Philippines. We also want to have a certain amount of wedding vendors. However, we do not want to, for example, you just mentioned the amount of wedding vendors. It's not our intention that we have thousands of wedding vendors, because we think that the website and the app should be kind of curated, and it shouldn't be just a long directory of all the vendors that you have.